Hello, this is the 14-day Sugar Detox Challenge follow-up results video. My name is Rick Dalechek and I am the founder of Ageless Pursuit and the creator of the 14-day Sugar Detox Challenge. I started the challenge as I see more and more chronic illnesses take hold of younger people. I see sugar as the driver and believe by creating a steady glucose level in the body, we can reduce, if not eliminate, chronic illnesses. Therefore, I'm very excited to share with you the results of going without sugar for a mere 14 days and how fast the body is at adaptation. When you give your body a chance to heal itself by simply feeding it better, it almost responds immediately. Just a quick note before we continue, I'm not your doctor. This is educational and based on my personal labs. Always talk to your provider if you have a medical condition or take medications, as we do not want to make things worse. So let's move forward. To prove the effectiveness of the program, I had a comprehensive blood draw before and after. I also had a Dexa Scan for body composition before and after the 14-day Sugar Detox Challenge. Now what I want to do is show you the improvements that are not always seen. I want to share my results with you now. If you follow the Ageless Pursuit 14-day Sugar Detox program, you understand that our focus was on one thing. It was on your glucose readings and your monitor. Everything else was secondary to the program. You understand that it was a common sense approach, no crazy starvation or fad diets. Just by eating, drinking, and movement and observing how it affected your glucose readings is what we were after. First, the important note, the scale is only one data point. It's a rough number that can hide progress because your body weight can shift from things like drinking water, glycogen levels, inflammation, digestion, and even sleep quality can all affect your weight. Instead of just looking at the scale, let's look at the results of my test. I have two parts to it. I have the Dexa Scan that shows the body composition, which is made up of my fat and lean mass and where my fat is stored. I had blood work. It shows what's happening internally, my heart markers, my inflammation, liver stress, glucose, and more. Even with the small changes I saw on the scale, I saw changes that matter for health, energy, and long-term fat loss, and that was our goal. So let's start with the Dexa Scan results. My body weight barely changed during this process. It fluctuated throughout the 14 days, but remained mostly stable on average from day 1 to day 14. And this is where most people want to quit. When there's little to no movement on the scale, people want to go, I'm not losing weight, but that's not the point. So let's see what these Dexa Scan results are. First of all, I lost 1.3 pounds of fat mass, but I gained 0.4 pounds of lean mass. So the goal isn't to lose weight, but to lose fat while protecting lean mass. It is lean mass that keeps your metabolism strong as you get older. So in plain English, I lost fat, held on to muscle, and the scale barely moved. Next is the belly area scan called the core scan. This is what matters because this is where fat is stored, most of us. So the first thing we talk about is android fat, or the waist area. My waist area percentage dropped noticeably. When people say, hey, I want to lose belly fat, this is the type of metric that shows early progress. Sometimes even before you know your genes feel different, loose. So I lost there. Android and gynoid ratio, which is waist to hip ratio, improved as well. And the lower the AG ratio is, it means the better your fat distribution is shifting away from the belly area. Mine started at 1.03, and after 14 days, it was 0.97. So in simple terms, this signals that my body was moving towards a healthier fat distribution pattern. Next thing we'll talk about is visceral fat, the risky kind. My visceral fat slightly decreased. Remember, it's only 14 days. The visceral fat's what you hear about that's around the organs. It's metabolically active, meaning it behaves more like an organ than it does stored fat. Visceral fat actually can send out chemical and hormones that disrupt how your body works. You can be skinny and still carry too much visceral fat around your organs. So anytime this number moves in the right direction, especially quickly, it's a strong sign that your metabolism is improving. Next thing I want to talk about is subcutaneous fat. That's the under the skin fat that you can pinch. Mine also decreased. The takeaway here is even though the scale doesn't move much, the belly area can start improving early when sugar is removed. So overall, the Dexa Scan marks showed improvement. How my body distributed the fat, where it put the fat, in just 14 days. Now let's talk about my blood work because this is where Sugar Detox can really shine. First of all, we want to start with triglycerides. Often they respond fast. Mine went down. Triglycerides are a blood fat marker that often rises when we're eating too many refined carbs and added sugars, so we would assume this would go down. Mine did improve. It's often a good sign that your body is handling fuel better and reducing the extra sugar load that your liver has to process. My HDL went up, my good cholesterol went up. It's not the whole story, but seeing it move in the right direction is a positive signal. My LDL, or bad cholesterol, and non-HDL are good risk markers too, and those both went down. In plain English, these are markers connected to long-term heart risks. And what matters most is the trend moving in a healthier direction after the 14 days. My next marker is called a GGT, and that's the stress that your liver has put on it. So this is one of my favorite hidden markers because it can reflect how much stress we're putting our liver under and the metabolic strain. So just by cutting added sugars, you reduce the workload on your liver, especially if you're doing a lot of liquid calories such as soda, desserts, or processed foods. Next one is a homocysteine marker, and that improved as well. Homocysteine is a blood marker tied to how your body handles methylation, B vitamins, and also an indicator of heart and blood vessel health. It's another marker that we generally want lower, and seeing it improve is a win. So all in all, my blood work shows improvements and trends based on lab results before and after. But it's important to point out, the longer the detox goes, the better the markers improve. We did 14 days. Each person can determine the length of the detox, and it's based on your personal needs, but a good 14 days shows movement in the right direction. So moving on to my favorite results, I saved the best for last. Our goal during the 14-day challenge sugar detox was to focus on glucose. Why? If we can get our glucose to be as steady as possible as opposed to the daily spikes, then we can become metabolically flexible. This improves your overall health and health span, being the goal of our challenge. Two important measurements came from the blood draws that we want to focus on. The insulin, the glucose, is how we wanted everything to be flat. So first, let's discuss fasting insulin. This is your body's storage hormone signal while you're not eating. When fasting insulin is higher, it often means that your body needs more insulin than it should to keep your sugar stable, called insulin resistance, and we want to avoid that. When fasting insulin drops, it usually means your body can manage blood sugar with less insulin, called insulin sensitivity or metabolic flexibility. So let's look at my results. How significant is my 9.0 to 5.5 micro international units of insulin per milliliter of blood drop? 39% decrease in fasting in just over 14 days, moving me to metabolic flexibility. It created better insulin sensitivity. It's easier for me to lose belly fat, much stabler energy, fewer cravings and crashes. The second measurement we want to discuss is fasting glucose. This number indicates how well your body manages blood sugar overnight or during an 8 to 12 hour fast. It shows how hard your body is working to keep glucose in a healthy range. What is that healthy range? Under 100 milligrams per deciliter is considered normal, but the ideal is between the mid 80s and low 90s is where you want your number to be. But a combination of both numbers improving does what? We want to take those two numbers above and use a formula known as HOMA-IR, or homeostatic metal assessment resistance. It's calculating how hard your body is working to keep your blood sugar normal. The formula is calculated taking your fasting insulin and your fasting glucose and divided by 405. So you want the before and after numbers to see the overall improvement. This was the most powerful change that occurred as a result of the challenge. My body now requires less insulin to manage blood sugar after 14 days. What was the 14-day sugar detox challenge on? Glucose levels. By doing this one simple thing for 14 days, my blood work improved already. You don't have to take my word for it. That's why I wanted to do blood work and a Dexa scan, because I can't make up the results. But I do want to offer some final thoughts as you contemplate doing the 14-day sugar detox challenge. First of all, what do you have to lose? You feel better, you have more energy, you have a clearer mind, and your overall internal health improves. Secondly, it's 14 days of your life. You've been doing the same thing for years. The improvements are encouraging as you just feel better. 14 days goes by very quickly. And third, do not focus on the number on the scale. As proven in my before and after test results, it's not about the number. It's about the marked improvements that can be measured. Now, if you're in the middle of a wellness journey or just starting, this is a great challenge to start with, to take on. It will set the foundation for future health today. You have to take that first step, and this program is a great step forward. I wish you all the best on your wellness journey, and I hope you will continue to follow Ageless Pursuit as we continue to add now maintenance programs and daily improvements. Stay persistent and consistent, and I look forward to helping you follow your wellness journey.